I just realized it was getting warm, and then it was already dropping on the floor. Breastfeed because he was just falling asleep at the pool and there was nothing you could do. Good morning guys and welcome to another video. I am actually recording from my car because I'm actually about to have an appointment with my midwife because I'm actually starting the I don't know really how to call it, but like a re-education of the pelvic floor muscles, and it's gonna be my first appointment for this. Actually, I had already 2 appointments, but they were just like answering to some questions and actually like just seeing where I am at what kind of stage. So today I'm gonna have my first appointment where I actually have to do, I guess, some kind of exercises, where I'm gonna be checked from from the midwife, obviously. It was very difficult today, this morning, because I had to leave my son for the first time alone with his grandparents. Like normally, I used to leave him alone already, but it was obviously like with my husband. But I know it's gonna be fine and they love him and it's gonna be just amazing, I think. Also for him, like to be with other people, I think that's important. And also they're like very close. So if there should be anything, I'm obviously not far away. So this is very good. And yeah, I'm pretty excited now for how this appointment is gonna go. And yeah, I just wanted to record this because I think it's important that we also talk about this kind of part that we have to do after birth, because a lot of time things have changed down there obviously a little bit. So I think it's very important that we also take time for ourselves so that we can actually focus on our bodies, recovering from all this. Obviously we gave birth to a little human and that's a very big thing. And yeah, I'm very grateful that here in France they actually pay a lot of attention. Like it's a very important subject that you also can have like this kind of appointments for free, even like you don't pay anything. Everything is taken care of by the public healthcare system. And yeah, I'm very happy because I'm also sure that my mom back then, when she gave birth to me, I don't think that that was a thing back then. So I'm very happy that it's like this nowadays. And yeah, let's just see. And I'll see you later, guys. Good morning, guys. So it's the next day, and I have to say I feel kind of tired. I feel like I always feel tired every day. My son is actually teething right now, and I had a couple of nights where it was really difficult to get some sleep because he would wake up like seriously like 3 or 4 times, crying a little bit. And so those nights are of course very, very rough. But last night he didn't wake up once. It was really, I don't know how that even happened, but I put him to bed. I think it was around 9 in the evening, and he definitely slept throughout until 7 in the morning. And even at 7 he was not even crying yet. It was just like he was starting to complain a little bit, and I could still get to like lay a little bit in bed before really getting up and getting ready for the day. I mean, I'm not ready for the day yet, but I am getting there. I'm having my coffee first. I also plan on having a little walk today to go out a little bit. And I want to try to actually use the baby carrier. I would like to actually show it to you. Alright, so this is the baby carrier that we actually got for when my son was born. Or actually we got it even way before. It's from the company called Sandia. And I have to say, I really love the design. Obviously, it's a very cute design. It's sage color. And what especially made me actually buy it was because you will see it later when I'm going to wear it. I will show you again how it looks like really when you wear it. But basically, in the back, you have this very thin straps, which is really great. Because I don't like it when the straps in the back is like when it's really bulky in the back, because basically when you are seated, then let's say, for example, I don't know, maybe even in a bus, in the plane, whatever. Obviously not in the car, because you would not be allowed to carry it like this. But anyway, so you will not have something that is actually annoying you while you're seated. So this is really, really great. And that was very important for me. And also you have like different kind of adjustments that you can adjust it with. The company also sells it in like different kind of colors. Also, I wanted to say that this company, they also offer you, like when you purchase this, you can also have some kind of like online session, how to wear it, what you can do with it, like different kind of, I don't know, I guess different kind of options how you can carry your baby. Not of course from the very beginning. From the very beginning, they definitely need to face you, but I think later they can also be facing the front, and also be, I think, in the back, like being carried a little bit like a backpack. I don't know, but definitely they give you some kind of advice on how to use it. And I think that's really great as well, because sometimes we buy something and then we actually have it and we don't really know how this works. And especially when it comes to those kind of like different buttons, you know, like from what kind of age you would use what. I think that's really useful. So if you're interested, definitely check this company out. And I will try to also leave a link below. And yeah, I think that was it, what I wanted to say. So yeah, I'm gonna have my coffee now, and then later I'm gonna get ready and we're gonna have a little walk. And I also wanted to actually talk about breastfeeding, how it's been so far for me. And I think this can be very interesting as well, because I know, especially when you're a first time mom, obviously, if you're a second time mom, you know what worked for you and what didn't, what you would do differently maybe the first time around. But anyway, so I think for first time moms, it can be very interesting how went actually, for example, for me, because I know it's not always easy. Like sometimes we have plans and then actually doesn't really work out that well. So yeah, I just would like to share my experience, and yeah, definitely gonna tell you more about it later in a bit.
So take a minute to breathe right and check if it feels right.
Alright guys, so this is the baby carrier that I was actually talking about, and this is how it looks like when you are wearing it. So in the back you have the straps, and those are actually pretty like flat on your body, which me personally I really love. Like I said before, if you want to sit and yeah, obviously in the back it will not annoy you, because some baby carriers, they're very bulky in the back, like the straps are really thick. More of like, I don't know, like for me, like really like a life vest kind of style. And this is exactly what I don't like. Also, this makes it so much more comfortable to also wear it like throughout the day. And there's so many things you can really get done while your baby's in the carrier. And for example, like my baby right now is sleeping. It's just awesome. Like I get to make some food, you can get ready a little bit. And especially also it releases your hands, because when you're carrying your baby, especially when they're getting heavier, the babies, they get so heavy, like really your arms, they start to hurt so much because you're carrying them around everywhere. And also, I don't know if you know, a lot of babies, they have like some kind of like a flat head, which is really, yeah, somehow weird. But it's like, I heard it's like very, very common. Like I think every second or third baby has some kind of, at least like some kind of very minor yeah, like where you can really see that. And when you carry them in the baby carrier, it's much better for them, because like this, they train their neck muscles, and obviously the head stays round because the baby is not always flat on something. Of course, for the night when they're sleeping, obviously you put them on the back. That's the safest position you can put your baby in. But for like daytime, it's not always good to put them like in, you know, this kind of like baby, I don't know how you call them like baby bouncer thing, which is super convenient. And I do it, of course, as well. Like, for example, when I want to shower or something like this, we even use it a lot, I'm gonna be honest. And I think also it's definitely one of a must-have, in my opinion, when you have a baby. But a baby carrier, I try to put him as much as possible, because like I said, you really get to do a lot of things. You take your baby everywhere with you. You can always hear their breathing. They can actually also feel your breathing, your heartbeat and everything. So it's soothing them and reassuring them as well at the same time. Not every baby loves the baby carrier, of course, as well. My baby first was not the biggest fan. You have to train them a little bit. My baby was like crying a little bit in the beginning, and like you start to wondering, like, is everything comfortable? And of course you check everything, make sure that you have the right position for the baby as well. But then it was just fine. And then now today he really loves it, and he falls asleep very, very quickly. And if not, he likes to just look around, seeing what mommy does, obviously. So I definitely can recommend this one. Like I said, it's really awesome. I love this one. So I'm gonna show you the design again from close up. It's really awesome. I really definitely love it.
I never wish to let it be. I'm on a mission to set it free. Whoa, whoa.
And this is also life with babies. I was just doing my salad here and having the baby in the baby carrier, and then suddenly I just realized it was getting warm, and then it was already dropping on the floor. Somehow it just leaked, and I was all over pee everywhere, and yeah, even the baby carrier. So I had to quickly change, and yeah, I just put him down on his playmat right now, because obviously I need to wash everything now. So this really is totally unexpected, not planned at all, but this is how it goes when you have babies, obviously. But I have to say I was really surprised, because this never happened. Like, I must have made like maybe some kind of like mistake, not really properly close it or something like this. But yeah, like I said, today was the first experience that this actually happened. Yes. Anyway, it's okay. Luckily, we can wash everything. The baby carrier can be washed as well. So this is no big deal. It's just really a pity, because I actually wanted to go out and go for a walk with the baby carrier. So either this has to wait until tomorrow, or I'm just gonna use the stroller. I don't know. I will see. Yeah. I'm gonna continue with my salad anyways. Alright guys, it is the next day, and I wanted to talk about my breastfeeding journey so far. My baby is about to be 5 months old, and I actually started breastfeeding. Or let's maybe actually start with the intention that I had. So my intention from the very beginning was to breastfeed. I wanted to exclusively breastfeed, but I know I also knew that it's not always possible. Like, it's of course great to have a goal and to have a plan, something that you're hoping for, that you would like to do. But then it's also always good to have a plan B. If you don't have it, well, it's also not so bad, I think, because we are in 2025. If you cannot manage somehow to get a good latch from the very beginning, there's so many nurses and I don't know, midwives. They are always there to help you. There are even lactation consultants that mostly, even during the stay you are in the maternity, they already come and help you. At least it was in my maternity like that. So I had a problem from the very beginning. I'm gonna be honest. I thought that everything would just come naturally, and I know that for some babies it does come naturally and everything works just right from the beginning, but it's not always the case. My baby was really, really sleepy, I have to say. I remember that it was so difficult to make him actually eat. I remember even like we tried a lot of things, like trying to like give some kind of stimulation so that he would actually wake up to eat a little bit. But it was so difficult. Like, I don't know. I really think like something could be like super loud next to us, maybe, or I don't know. He would still not really wake up. Like, he was a really, really deep sleeper. And that was really great, of course, in the beginning for us, because we were really thinking like, oh, it's great, we can all just really sleep a lot and it's so easy. But it didn't stay, of course, forever like this. It was just a phase, and especially like the first nights when babies are born, they tend to be like very sleepy because they are obviously also exhausted from this whole birthing process and stuff like this. So that was, I think that was the reason why he was that sleepy. Especially it continued throughout a few days afterwards as well, but it obviously it changed afterwards. So anyway, in the hospital he was very sleepy. It was very difficult to even learn to breastfeed because he was just falling asleep at the boob, and there was nothing you could do. It was just like this. So of course, what did I have to do in order to make him eat? And yeah, we just had to use formula. I think it was day 2 when we had to introduce formula to our baby. And first it didn't bother me, but I was a little bit disappointed because I was like, okay, well, that happened really quick. We are just day 2. I think it was not even after 24 hours after he was born, and we already had to give him a bottle with some formula. After, like now, looking back at this, I just can say like we are lucky that we have this kind of formula nowadays, that it's um so well produced, that it's really like getting so close from breast milk. And yeah, it is what it is. So we had to use formula, and I still was trying to, of course, breastfeed, like, because that was always my goal. And I knew like, okay, maybe now it's not working, I am tired, baby is tired, obviously, maybe it will get just better by the time we are home, and I will be in peace, I will be at home. It's always the best when you're actually home, obviously, in your environment and everything. I remember when we came home, my husband actually went to the pharmacy and he got some formula, because we had to obviously have those kind of things at home for when we needed them for the baby to eat. And yeah, I remember this. Also, I forgot to actually mention what I at least did. Like, I remember my body was, I think, was not producing milk for like maybe 48 hours after birth, something like that. I had this kind of thing that's called colostrum, and you need to actually really like basically like massage it out of your boob. And this is something that you would give your baby in the very beginning. And we used to do it. I remember like it was like a very tiny spoon full of this colostrum that we would give our baby. And it seemed so little, but their stomachs, they're so small in the beginning that it's definitely more than enough for them. But yeah, like I said, so once we were back home, we of course continued giving formula, and I would still also always continue giving my boob, because I really wanted to establish a nice breastfeeding connection with my baby. But I'm not gonna lie, it was so difficult that I was also given a subscription from my maternity, that if it would continue to not work, actually, that I would be I could try to actually express milk with, obviously, how do you actually even call it again? I totally forgot. Well, basically, with this kind of machine that expresses your milk. It's just not coming into my mind. But you know what I mean? An electrical milk pump, a breast pump. So this is what I had, actually. Yeah, I had the subscription for it and I went for it. So I started expressing my milk every 3 hours, which is so exhausting. I don't know. I think if you hear it like this, like, oh yeah, okay, every 3 hours, where you have time to do other things in between. Yes, no, you don't. Because you want to shower, you want to eat something, somehow you still want to sleep, you still need to take care of your newborn baby. And then somehow everything is just too much. And it's really like you're struggling so much. I was struggling a lot. And then after a while, and trust me, not a long while, it was really after a short time, my nipples, they started to hurt so badly. I I couldn't. Each time I knew it's 3 hours again and I have to express my milk again, I wanted to cry. Really painful. But of course, I did what I have to do, and I at least wanted to try. I told myself just to hold on until really the last moment. I would, I don't know. I don't know. I have to say though, after a time, it just really got better, or maybe I'm gonna be really honest with you, it got numb and then it started to actually become better. But yeah, like I said, it's okay. Just hold on if you can. If not, when there's still formula. That's also what I told myself, that if really it's not possible, I will just continue with formula and it's gonna be fine, and we will just see how it goes afterwards. So, like I said, I was still, next to expressing my milk, I was also still trying to establish the breastfeeding connection with my baby, and I was successful. I was very happy. It didn't work right from the beginning. It took some good amount of time to practice, to always put the baby on again and try and try and try until it finally really worked. And it was also the moment when I finally could stop expressing the milk. I would not stop completely, but like most of the time I would breastfeed. And then sometimes if I had the feeling like maybe I can build up some kind of like I don't know, some kind of like stored breast milk for like later, for a moment when I want to actually maybe have a little bit of time for myself, so maybe my husband could feed the baby with the bottle. But yeah, so mainly I was breastfeeding then. It happened very rarely when I was really really very very tired that I or my husband would give a bottle with formula, like for example during the night. And I think that was also the reason, because I was very very tired. So yeah, I think that was also the reason why my milk supply was not fully establishing. Like especially on one side I used to have a little bit less milk always than on the left side. How did I know this? It was when I was expressing, I had always a good amount of milk coming out from, for example, the left side, and then from the right side it was always like, it was like a joke basically. It was really little. And I tried a lot of things, like for example putting the baby like on the side where I had less milk coming, thinking and hoping that it would increase the milk supply. It never did. It really never did. And I did it for months and it was unfortunately never working. Anyway, at the time we hit the 4 month mark, I started to slowly give more formula, because there were a lot of reasons, I have to say. I had a moment when it didn't hurt me anymore, but then somehow it came back again. That my breasts, they were very, very sore. And also my baby started to still cry after each time I would feed him. So what I thought, and I know that's a big thing for a lot of women actually, is obviously you start wondering, do I produce enough milk for my baby so that my baby is not feeling hungry after I feed him? Because I think that was definitely the case for us. Our baby, obviously, not obviously, but our baby always wanted to have additional bottle after I breastfed him. So yeah, that was always a little bit tricky, like we could not really tell how much is he drinking now, is he getting enough food? And obviously each time we had the appointments with the pediatrician, it was really okay. And he would also gain weight, so we know that everything is fine at this point. But yeah, like I said, it was not always so clear. And also I wanted to start, no, I have to start going back to work very soon. So I was thinking like I should actually slowly stop. What I also have to mention at this point, my job is not like a 9 to 5 job, where you just go and then you come back, because in that case, obviously you can still express your milk even when you're at work, and then you can just store it at home. No, me, when I'm actually going to work, I'm not coming back home for at least 48 hours or even longer. So that was the reason why I knew that I have to stop at some point before going back to work, and making sure that my baby is actually fine with only having formula. And that is why at like around 4 months, I slowly decreased giving him the boob and increased actually the bottle feeding. And so, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, when I had to actually slowly stop feeding him with the boob, I had many days moments I just started crying. It is such a special connection that you actually establish, especially also not so easy to establish from the very beginning. And then once you get it, like you get to this point where it's really working well for you, already you're so happy, and it's so sad to actually stop doing this. And so, yeah, but it was mainly this personal moment, this special moment that you really had, just your baby and you. And it's just something so, so special. And I cannot even really describe it. Like, just looking down at my baby, it was just so, it was really a moment full of love, peace, and I don't know, endless happiness. I don't know, like, what can you have more? Like, it was so special, like what you can do as a mother, like to feed your baby, obviously, if you can. I'm not saying that if you cannot for whatever reason, even if you just decided to not do it, like, it's still fine. Like, you're still giving special moments to your baby and love and everything, because you would feed your baby, obviously. But it was definitely difficult for me to slowly stop breastfeeding. Anyway, here we are. My baby is 5 months and I stopped breastfeeding completely. The last weeks I used to do it just like really at night once, but then my baby stopped actually waking up at night, which I know can be just a phase, and maybe we will get back to this point where we have to get up at night again to feed him. Right now we don't, and that's also how I stopped completely breastfeeding, even at night. And I can definitely tell that my boobs are feeling more back to normal. Not even that, I would say, but like different, like they're not that full anymore. The supply definitely is going back, and yeah. But I have to say, now looking back, I'm happy I did that. I'm really grateful that I could also establish this breastfeeding, that I could actually establish a breastfeeding experience. And yeah, it was definitely a special moment, but I'm also very happy for everything just the way it happens. Maybe if I would have known before, if I would get another second chance, I would maybe do a few things different from the very beginning. Like, for example, right after birth, I think I would have naturally just already started maybe to give the boob, whereas I was waiting like good 2 hours. I don't know what I was waiting for. I guess for someone to come and tell me, okay, you can feed your baby, which is so crazy now looking back, because I just could have done it. I mean, that's my baby. I decide after all when I want to feed him. But I don't know what I was waiting for someone, like it was so weird actually. But anyway, I cannot change it. It is what it is. And now I can just say I'm happy for that everything went just that it worked out well for us, that my baby gained weight. My baby is such a happy baby. He's thriving and everything is fine. So yeah, I can just say, like, in general, I think a happy baby, this is what matters at the end of the day, and not if you are formula feeding, if you're breastfeeding, combo feeding, whatever works well for you. This is the way to go, and whatever, of course, is accepted by your baby. Yes, I think we should embrace every decision we take as a mom, because especially when we are first-time mom, there's so many things we have to adapt to as well. And it's not always our decision. Sometimes the decision is just taken by what the baby wants and what is possible and what isn't. And so, yeah, like I said, no regrets, just being happy and adjusting also now with the transition to soon actually starting solids. Yeah, here we are already after 5 months. I cannot believe it. That was it. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, I would be very happy if you could give the video a thumbs up. I would be super happy. You can also subscribe to my channel so you will not miss out on any future videos. I would be very happy to also see you in my next vlog, and I'm wishing you a wonderful week wherever you are in the world, and see you in my next video. Bye guys.